Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Moderately Educated News Network. I'm here joined by my lovely co-host, Stefan Jones, and a guest appearance from Ikel Hernandez. All right. Well, today we're going to be talking about uh, Tony Hitchcliffe, I hope I'm saying his name right, the host of Kill Tony, or one of the hosts of Kill Tony, and in my opinion, awful joke made at a Trump rally at Madison, I believe Madison Square Garden, where there were terrible statements made about the country of Puerto Rico and Biden's response to that. So without further ado, I will play Biden's response.
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of things is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's
Anyway, very short response video. There's a bit longer ones out there. Where he speaks a little bit more on the topic. There was some damage control done by Biden, and Kamala did separate herself from his response to a degree, which I do feel is somewhat appropriate. But overall, I would be inclined to agree with Biden that the demonization of immigrants by Trump, the absolutely horrible joke made about the entire country of Puerto Rico itself, are both just demonstrative, awful claims. The treatment of seemingly the treatment of immigrants from the right, MAGA, and Trump, those statements labeling them criminals, insane, leeches on society, all of this myriad of just awful things that you can say about these people. They pay they should take precedent over, calling MAGA supporters garbage, which I would be inclined to agree that they are. But I would say, yeah, that's probably my 2 cents on that. Um, let's see, was there anything else I wanted to say? Yeah, no, I think that about wraps it up. Stefan, would you like to give your opinion there?
100%. So, guys, I find it absolutely hilarious that X agrees with Biden because one, Trump doesn't agree with Biden, Kamala doesn't agree with Biden, and Biden doesn't agree with Biden. Oh my gosh, this man had to walk back his comments, try to do damage control. Guys, it's a joke. If you don't know, Puerto Rico is having an issue with trash. There's a lot of garbage everywhere. They literally are talking about burning it all. So it's literally landfills of garbage everywhere in Puerto Rico. It's an actual issue, which the joke actually brought, awareness to the issue because the average everyday American, the moderately educated individual, and even less than moderately educated individual wouldn't even know about that had that joke not been made. So, yeah, guys, it's the joke. Take it how you want. It honestly, in my opinion, is not that big of a deal. If we get to the point where we're demonizing jokes. Like I just watched this comedian make fun of or not make fun of, but he was making jokes with a girl with cerebral palsy that was in a chair like this, and she was laughing. Like, let's stop being so butthurt and sensitive about every single thing. Goodness gracious. And that being said, I do want to also bring up your points on characterization of things that Trump has said about immigrants. So one of the things that you have to denote is that he uses the word some a lot. Some of the people who come across have bad intentions, which they do. Newsflash. Wow. There's some immigrants that rob, steal, kill, and traffic people and smuggle drugs over here. Wow. Who knew? That's why we have issues with immigration right now. Is it all? No. Has he ever said it was all? Also, no. So, yeah, nice try. Nah, not this time. That being said, guys, that's my opinion on it. It's not that big a deal. I do find it funny though that Biden had to walk those comments back. And Kamala said, "I don't know that old man. I don't know what he's talking about, but it ain't me." So yeah, that's my opinion.
All righty.
Okay,
Do
but
you have
I
any?
have I have
Yep.
so I have my 2 cents in the situation. So you said that Biden kind of retracted his statement, and then also they distanced himself. But Trump did the same thing, right? Like Trump distanced himself from Hinchcliffe, and then also hit not Trump. Trump didn't say, "Oh, you know what? That's not on us." Like, no, it was his board that said that. He didn't even have the decency to, be like, you know what, that was wrong. Let me go and tell everyone. Not he didn't do that. So I think that's interesting. Also, I didn't know Puerto Rico had a trash problem. That's also interesting. And and I think the statement of, oh, it brought awareness to um the trash problem in Puerto Rico, which I again was not aware of. And my parents actually went like a week ago. But anyways, besides the point,
It's a big place, buddy.
Puerto Rico is a big place.
I mean, I'd venture
It's
to say,
96 miles long.
I'd venture to say, did they travel all 96 miles of Puerto Rico?
They actually did. Every time they go around all the beaches because it's not that big, so they can. But
So they
hey,
went around
it
like
doesn't
70
matter.
miles.
That's besides the point. But there was other jokes made. Well, Hitchcliff made some jokes. Other people made jokes, I guess. I don't know. They were just being a little racist, but Hitchcliff.
Define racism, because racism is a belief of superiority, and then I'll let you finish your point.
Not solely superiority, it's also just discrimination and prejudice against racial groups,
Yeah,
which implies
prejudice,
superiority
yes,
to a
but
degree, but
certain jokes aren't necessarily prejudice just because, like, has every black joke I've heard in my life been prejudice necessarily? No, but I hear you.
Well, I mean, besides the point, you shouldn't be making jokes like that in a rally that is
yeah.
being televised to the whole world, probably, because I'm sure other people in other countries are looking at the elections. Especially it has gained a lot of traction. So you shouldn't be saying that. Trump's panel should have looked at everything that Hitchcock should have said and would have said. So first, if they did look at it and let that slide, that's messed up. Second, if they didn't look at it, that's very unprofessional when somebody's speaking live to a bunch of people. Um, Anyways, besides the point, he made other jokes about black people. He made jokes about other races. It wasn't just Puerto Ricans, but the Puerto Rican one gained a lot of traction because it was very direct and it was at a island, not just the race. But anyways, I do think that it was very unprofessional, like I said. Um, and I don't think it was a joke as he meant it to be. I think it was very direct. Um, but everyone has their opinion. And yeah.
Yeah, I would venture to
Respect.
say that a lot of those there are differences in types of jokes where if I am obviously for what let's say for whatever reason I'm a part of I don't know. I'm part of a Jewish I'm Jewish myself, let's say, and I'm part of a synagogue and I make seemingly anti-Semitic jokes. Well, because it's not because I belong to the group that I'm allowed to do so, but the joke comes from the breaking of the expectation. The fact that a Jew, me, would be anti-Semitic, it almost breaks your expectation there, implying the humor. But you would have to know that about me in order for it to be funny. At times, I feel, especially on the right, this occurs where the joke isn't the breaking of expectation, but being bold enough to say radical claims. And so I feel like because of the audience that you were in, because it was I seemingly people that were anti-immigration, especially Latin immigration, when you make jokes about Latin American cultures, people, and countries, that's not breaking expectation, it's creating an echo chamber of look at how brave I am to combat seemingly this enemy. Um, so that's one point I would make. And then secondly, about like rhetoric, sticking a little bit more to like Biden's response. I support it because rhetoric on the right is like garbage, awful, terrible stuff
And calling
that
Trump
gets
Hitler
said.
is okay.
Nope, I wouldn't say that it was okay, but there's a specific difference between some keyboard warrior on Twitter calling Trump Hitler and maybe some figures in media.
Kamala did it. Assassination
Sure.
attempts. This is an
But
issue that's going
okay,
on.
Kamala ordered the fucking
No, I
assassination
didn't say
attempts?
that. I didn't say that. But when you call somebody Hitler, it literally, if somebody had a chance to stop Hitler, would they not do it? If you put that in people's minds,
Depends
when
on who
people are
you
highly
are. But
suggestible,
I
people
I
are highly
don't
suggestible because of social media. That's they literally Democrats. Every Democrat literally said we have to chill out with the rhetoric. They
yeah,
literally
she
said that, and she
convinced the
still
Republicans, the
went
two
back and said
Republicans
it
to go kill a
again.
Republican president. That makes sense. But as I was saying, yeah, no,
Those
I
were
don't agree with the
Democrats.
rhetoric
They
that
only
on that.
donated money to Democrats, but I hear you.
Yeah,
Continue.
for sure, for sure. And he was a registered Republican. Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
But,
but donated money to what party? Democrats.
that's
Voted for
That's fine. I
Democrats.
mean, if
Period.
you want to, if but then when you have people, the former president of the United States, that while he was president, makes egregious claims about the enemy within the country, pegs Democrats as like un-American, just awful people.
Not every Democrat, just
That
far
that
left people who are
that
burning
level of
things
rhetoric,
down,
Biden
looting and
calling some MAGA
oh my
supporters
God.
trash does not rise to that same level. When you speak about U.S. citizens in terms of deploying the National Guard on them, and suppressing, these woke Democrats, it feels like civil war. It feels like an
The
incitation
woke
to violence.
ones
It
that
feels
have
like all these negative
torn
things.
down
Anyway, that
statues
being
and
said,
burned down cities.
if you'd like to respond to some of my points, you're now welcome to do so.
Okay, yeah, the woke ones that burn down cities, loot and riot. Yeah, those are the only times National Guard's ever been deployed on U.S. citizens. Number one, number two, and that's after state governments can't get their cities under control. Just a FYI. They'll literally be like, "Hey, you want National Guard? We're not gonna pretend like this man wasn't president for 4 years, so we're not gonna act dumb." Also, in the chat, since Ekel was not aware, I hope I said that correctly, since he was not aware of the trash bomb in Puerto Rico, I dropped a link to a great article that will greatly explain the issue that they have over there. Since you weren't aware of it, it's okay. I wasn't till recently either, so yeah, it's something that I definitely think we could be a little bit more moderately educated on. So yeah,
Um,
they have a
but
big trash problem.
I
I
do
would
like
like.
how it was October 30th, 2024 after the comments were made. That's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, where did you see the date?
Very top. It's like the
Uh,
first thing ever. Yeah.
oh shit, yeah.
Today? That's
Yeah,
today. Oh
he heard
wow,
about
that's
it
crazy.
today. But no, I will say that nah man, that
There's more than one article on it, just FYI.
nah, not for sure. To the point that you made earlier regarding the fact that this caused awareness of the issue. Um I feel like if it's an issue that because Puerto Rico is a US territory and seemingly in some degree associated with the US. If you cared to a degree about the crisis that this is, to joke about it as to make it, the world's introduction to this issue, to call attention to it in this way is seemingly absurd. Imagine if you called attention to the victims of P. Diddy by saying, "Aha, so that bitch got raped."
Oh,
Sure,
that's not the
you called
same
attention to
thing.
the issue, but you did so in a very demeaning manner where I have to question your intentions.
Brother, that was such a insane logic jump. But let's go ahead and go back in the chat. I have one from 2022 since Ekel is also still unbelieving of this issue. So there's one from
I never
2022
said I
that
was
we can chat
unbelieving.
in.
I just said it was funny that it was October today.
Nah, sarcasm and snarkiness would lead to believe otherwise. But we can go to the 2022 one. Just so you have, full, no humor, no holds barred. Like this is actually a thing.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Yep, May 9th, 2022, Puerto Rico landfill problems. All you need to know. Let's see. So these, I don't think these are pictures of the. It said it could run out of landfill space. Not that the island is dirty though.
Hold on, run out of landfill space in 2 to 4 years, which this was written in 2022. It's now
But
2024.
then if we read
They're
this,
talking about them having no landfill space and that the trash needs to be burned. And
yeah.
basically, yeah,
But yeah,
it's something
okay.
that's been
So it's
ongoing.
so what it sounds like, because I wasn't previously aware of this, but what it sounds like, the joke that's being made, I just saw you sent something you killed to the chat too.
Well, they say the same thing about America, but like
Certain
everything
parts
has
of
to
America,
be
100%. California
But
especially.
it sounds
well.
like
New York too.
the joke that was being made was implying that Puerto Rico was a dirty place, and ergo that the people there are simultaneously dirty. But it sounds like the issue is with because it's a 96 mile island, as Ekel pointed out, they're just running out of space to put trash. So therefore, a solution is to burn it. Not necessarily that they're gross people and like somewhere seemingly like India that certain parts of India do face
Yeah.
the filth issue, and there are like large movements to fix that. Why didn't he make a joke about India? Why was it targeted towards Latin American peoples? I'm just
I
saying.
mean,
I start to question intentions.
that's a fair point. That's a fair point in terms of intentionality, but I mean, that's something where it's like, is that something I'm gonna overly necessarily look into? Not
Also,
really.
if if like you said, it was bringing awareness to the situation, wouldn't Trump not distance himself, but also kind of, jump in and be like, yeah, like, you know what, he's right, like blah blah blah. But no, he distanced himself. So what's
Well,
the
I would say
correlation
not
there?
necessarily. So I would say not necessarily. Reason being, Donald Trump, a lot of times, and we can all be completely intellectually honest about this, has been taken out of context in things he said numerous times.
Like black
So
jobs.
if, hey, look, even Dr. Umar Johnson, a black rights activist, literally said, "Y'all know exactly what the man meant by black job." Yes, that's technically taken out of context as well. There's a lot of things being taken out of context.
Yeah.
Dr. Umar explained the black jobs comment as black men with felony conviction can only get certain types of jobs, which some of those jobs get taken by migrants. Anyways, so
No,
yeah,
that's
but
not that.
anyways,
Okay, I hear you,
no,
but
but
it's
I'm
not
saying what
just
Dr. Umar
felonies.
said.
It's
I'm saying what
that
Dr.
black
Umar
people
said.
typically have lower education in this country as compared to their white counterparts, and therefore occupy lower status jobs on the totem pole, such as, menial labor, maybe construction, maybe janitorial, maybe things that migrants would compete for. It's not just felony convicted blacks that face the effects of this. So
Well, no,
clarification.
I understand that. I agree 100%. But 1/3 of black men do have a felony conviction, so that's just something to note. It's just something to note. But that was Dr. Umar's point of attacking it. I was just quoting Dr. Umar. I wasn't saying that was my direct full scope of it. But dang, we got off topic. But yes, he gets taken out of context, Hikel. So it's like, why would I necessarily say, hey, give you another reason to target me? It's like, oh, now Trump agrees with this about Puerto Rico. Like, bro, the election's coming up in like freaking November 5th, bro. Like, early voting has already started. This man should distance himself from anything, absolutely anything that would potentially get him canceled. As much as the media has tried to cancel him, I've never seen one person be attacked by media for freaking what, 8 years straight, if we're being honest. Like, that's insane. They don't go after freaking Diddy or Jeffrey Epstein this much. Like,
It
bro,
he is
even
going
when the
to
man
he is
wasn't
trying to
president,
be the president of the
but
United
when he
States.
wasn't the
That's a
president,
really
CNN was
high.
going, oh,
When he was not the president, when when
yes, when he was not the president, CNN was
when
making
though
articles and stories
when
on him.
when before he was
When he was
president,
running,
after he was president, when he was running, exactly, you're running to be the president of the United States. Of course they're
before he
gonna find
secured
stuff before you were even
before he
born.
secured his or before he secured his third nomination, my bad, before he secured his third nomination, literally after the loss to Biden. And I understand January 6th and all that, but literally like after a year or two and you're still going on about it is crazy.
one of
Like,
the most
literally, hold
significant
on.
events in American history. Yeah, we're still going out. We still fucking talk about 9/11. Your point?
Yeah.
Your point?
Don't ever compare 9/11 to January 6th in my
Brother,
video.
arguably,
Goodness gracious.
January 6th was worse. Arguably.
No, it's
Okay.
definitely
My argument here.
so
January 6th was
That's
demonstrated.
an unhinged take.
No, no, it's not. Listen to this logic because you'll love this.
Okay.
January 6th represented an attack from within. Not an attack.
Mhm.
It represented an attack on the very foundation of America, its democratic process and the people's voice. Whereas 9/11, wow, cost more money, more like physical damage and loss of life, was an attack on U.S. people and soil, physical objects and things of that nature. We still maintained our identity as a nation. We united behind a common cause, whereas January 6th served as a divisive event to only further separate and cast doubt on the very institution that America was founded on. So, by that logic, you could argue that January 6th was worse. Now, open
So
to opinion,
logically,
but
I would venture to say no, because the overwhelming majority of the people that were there just to protest peacefully. Nobody was really there to just go
because
ballistic and go
why? Because
crazy.
of
That was,
lies
Well,
casted by Donald Trump on the American electorate.
but once again, you can say that, that's fine. But were the people
Lies are lies.
there, were 98% of the people there to storm the White House? Or were they there
no.
to protest peacefully? Be honest.
I don't know how many people made it in. 97%? Nah, why not? Because there was a fuck ton of people fighting. So I would say no. I would
A
argue
lot more
that no.
people made
There
it.
were more that there were a lot there were a lot that were there to see the overturning of that election.
But the number, I'm saying the contingent that caused physical violence was not a high amount. Anyways, that being said, I'm glad everybody knows about Puerto Rico's trash issue now. Yes, certain things can be said better, but frick, guys, it's if you ever heard a bad black joke that your freaking Indian friend told you, he's like, "Hey, bro, I have this joke," but like, bruh, come on.
Yeah, I have heard of that when I was in middle school, when I was like unmature. Right now, I don't think I've ever heard of a joke like that.
And not from high profile individuals that,
No.
I mean, that are potentially running for, an office
I
of
mean, well,
United States president.
speaking of running for office, is it okay to bring Meg the Stallion and some other ladies to twerk on stage and expect that to get votes? I mean, to each their own.
At least they
To each their
didn't,
own.
talk about other people. So
Yeah, they just directly disrespected black people by thinking that'll get them votes. But I hear you. Same difference. Agree to
Is
disagree.
anybody that makes black entertainment, is that disrespectful because it appeals to
No,
stereotypically black
brother,
values?
brother, brother, brother. The way that Kamala engages, the way that Biden even engages with black people, this man sat down with a black family and ate chicken. It pissed me off. I'm not even gonna lie.
Same
I
way,
don't know if it's
oh,
something
here, you want this?
intrinsically.
Donald Trump tried to kiss a black fucking 6-year-old on the lips?
What? Hey,
Oh,
yo,
while
that's
on
kind of
stage?
crazy.
Yeah, you want to talk
Hey, we
about
don't
how
want to
he
talk
handles
about
black
Biden with
people?
kids, though. We don't want to talk about Biden
Hey,
with kids, though. That little girl sniffing her hair and all the touching and feeling. Nah, bruh.
he ain't trying to kiss a kid though.
Creepy sleep.
I'll
Yes,
give
he
you that.
has. Sleepy, creepy Joe. Yes, he has, bro. You
Hold
only
on.
find what you're looking for on the internet, buddy. You only find what you're looking for on the internet.
Nah,
And I'm
that's
not gonna
true.
lie.
No,
Hey,
politicians all have these awkward moments with children. I will give you that. But
it is sick.
hey,
Yeah,
dog,
I'm not gonna lie.
happens. Shit happens, man.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, right?
Oh shit. I didn't realize this was a video. Disregard. Disregard. But anyway,
Yeah, no, that's crazy work. Hey, pull up the Biden one to be fair, to be balanced, bruh.
which
We are balanced here on the moderately
Biden
educated news
kid
network.
incident. Let me see. What should I look up? Biden kissing kid? I'm asking. Kissing kid?
Biden, or you can do sniffing girl's hair, bro. Because I'm not gonna lie, that kind of was weird.
Showing screen. Yeah, I would argue sniffing hair is, I mean, while it's still unhinged, I would argue is largely better than kissing. But, hey, that's just me, dog. I hear you, dog.
Look the middle
That being
bottom
said,
one.
guys, we do have
Oh,
about 7 minutes remaining.
oh, for
There
sure. I'll
any
close this out.
final thoughts regarding what you've heard here? Any final comments regarding, I don't know, the sanctity of Puerto Rico, of like maybe bad claims made about immigrants from MAGA, Biden's response, anything left before we wrap this up?
I have something left.
Let's hear it.
It just final thing. It just looks really bad on Trump, because he has, claimed that he has called Puerto Ricans dirty and poor. So putting that with this doesn't, it doesn't look good. And then also on top of that, him not directly responding to it, but it's from Trump, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
What's the source for that?
For calling him Puerto Ricans dirty?
And poor, yeah. Drop it in the chat, please.
All right.
Thank you.
I will say, yeah, I do think because of the nature of the joke and kind of the misrepresentation of like Puerto Rico's actual problem as we've come to see, I do feel like this was again the intention of the joke was to demean Puerto Ricans and the country of Puerto Rico as a whole. So
And
speaking
my
of that
take,
intention.
to be honest, then if that's the case and you believe that's the intent behind the joke, then you should applaud Trump distancing himself from it, number one. And then number two, Biden shouldn't have said what he said because Trump distanced himself from the comment. So
No, because
realistically,
as it's your event, it's kind of your responsibility to vet those people that speak and attend your events. So,
I
you
mean, but if it's a comedian, you don't necessarily know what they're gonna say.
Well,
That's
that's unprofessional though.
Did
Like
we know
whenever
Chris
they're
Rock was
talking
gonna talk
about
about Will Smith's
live
wife and get
to the
slapped?
whole country of the United States, that's not professional.
yeah, I think a majority
Is
of his
is
jokes.
twerking on stage professional, Ekel? Yes or no?
It's calling
No. The
someone
answer is no.
garbage
I know it's
is
hard for you to get
worse
to logical
than
conclusions. The answer is
It
no,
depends
my
on the
friend.
nature of the event.
it does.
If Kamala is speaking at a
Twerking on
concert
stage
or
is not
doing
professional
or there's entertainment
at a
at like a
political rally.
venue, then I could see it as like
What campaign has ever had people twerk on stage ever?
We
we're
are
living in
in a
different
new
times,
century,
buddy.
so
No excuses. It's crazy how you can't be intellectually honest about one thing and not intellectually honest about another. Like that's crazy. Be even keel. Be intellectually honest.
I don't know. Would you rather
Twerking in
somebody
any
make
sense.
racist
If
jokes
you
or
if
show
you
their
no,
ass
hold
on
on. If
stage?
you were at a business meeting, if you were at a business meeting, Ekel, would you have women twerking in that business meeting? Would you
but
twerk in a business meeting, Ekel?
Would
what
you
inf
say
I
the
No.
wouldn't I
N-word at a
wouldn't hold
business
on, I
meeting, Miguel?
wouldn't, but what influences your people more? Talking about a island and calling them trash versus you, so you think that by twerking white people are gonna go around and twerk? No. But some of the MAGA hats might go around and be like, yeah, Puerto Rico is trash, bro. Like they're a bunch of
So he
garbage.
said Puerto
That's gonna
Rico
happen.
itself was dirty because of the trash
No,
debate. He
no, no,
didn't say
no, no,
Puerto
no, 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 no,
Ricans
no,
were
no, no, no,
dirty.
no, no, no. He said
It's at
the
the top of the
island of Puerto
article.
Rico is a garbage pile swimming in the ocean. That's pretty much what he said.
Where's this quote?
No,
Quote,
that
let's
about
go back to the first
that about
uh
accurately sums up what he said. But by implication, therefore, the people that live on said dirty island would also, because seemingly, if that is the case, they allowed the state of the island to become that way, therefore, ergo, they're dirty as well, would be the implication, obviously. But regardless of the point, yeah, nope, not appropriate in my book. And to your point regarding twerking and not that one can, not that either would be necessarily appropriate depending on what format. Well, I could make a case for twerking being somewhat appropriate versus calling somebody and being derogatory towards an entire country of people as never being acceptable. So
What situation outside of a bar or club is twerking professional or
it
appropriate?
doesn't have to be a it doesn't it could be entertainment. It could
The
there are
bar club, hence
the
my
point being
response.
that that conduct in some nature can be deemed okay. This other, if it's you
A
shouldn't
comedy club, I mean, if somebody makes a joke and it bombs, it bombs. But I mean, at the end of the day,
for
it's
sure, for sure. Well, that being said,
I'll close this out. That being said, guys, thank you for tuning in again to the Moderately Educated News Network. We appreciate your viewership. Please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share with a friend or family member. We also appreciate our guest Ekel coming on. Thank you, sir, for bringing your topics and opinions. And that being said, guys, salute. Take it easy. Peace.
Adios.